Drink told me the plan and I say I'm with it. We jumped in the car and went straight to the riches. Yeah, we went straight to the riches. He told me this one gon' bust both of our wrists. I told him he playing, he says no gimmicks. I told him let's get it, I told him let's get it like.
Yo fam, we is back, man. Broski DM'd me, he said, I've been waiting for this video, right? So in the comments, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put a screenshot in the comments. You can't see AKA and Tibz murderers. You can't see that, feel me? So I'm like, what he talking about? Like, I'm waiting for this video, you feel me? Like, so I'm ready to tap in. I'm trying to see what happened, man. You think they found the killers? The real killers, though? Or they found who set them up? Like, the one who actually threw the hit out? I want to hear this. Let's get it. Feel me? Hit the like button, the subscribe button. Let go, gang. Let go.
I told that we need to move quicker. The date today is 27. And the actual date was 10th February.
Again, 17 days.
When the incident happened, that made everybody jump around in the country, make the calls and all that, when one of the most famous sons of the country was shot and killed. I remember that on the 10th again was a big story, all that. We really pushed on it at all levels, police, politicians, ministry have been pushed on it. Information has been given time and again, especially by the provincial commissioner here. It will be also by the spokesperson national from the office of the national commissioner. I said to one of your colleagues this weekend, Sunday, it's very clear that I will never answer any question without being asked this question. That was Sunday, and Monday again it was answered. So
Is this like, what's his name? Ramaphosa or something like that? Is this that president or some shit like that? Cause I ain't gonna lie, he'll get me tight, bro. Like, his speech was pointless as fuck.
That was Sunday, and Monday again it was answered. So we will invite the provincial commissioner to give the story of those 6 that have been arrested. Sure, you have been making the call to say a person was in the video, why is it not arrested and all that kind of stuff. The story is unlike evidence. What you see, people still have to investigate. So to you, there was one person that was to be arrested.
No.
6 people have been arrested.
To us, what we had, to us, right? It was 2 shooters, one inside the restaurant. One nigga who drove, and one nigga who operated the whole shit. And then it had to be one nigga inside the AKA's camp. So it is 6. It is 6.
That will appear in court on Thursday. It's one outstanding. As we have said, and especially the provincial commission, all of us, there have been things that have been done. Maybe that's the time to tell that story. From us, national office is to congratulate women and men in blue. One has just met the team that for last almost 48 hours they did not sleep to get the final people, since it will be explained that first person on this case was arrested in April last year. So, and you have been saying that story, and everybody denying. Maybe Lieutenant General Mkwana's weapons, so provincial commissioner, will give us the path that the police have covered. But the question, I'm sure, will come to an end when I am arresting the killers of AK.
I don't like the smile. I don't like the smile either. Just something about him, yeah. I don't like it.
And I hope South Africans will have a better sleep after that. Thanks. Lucky?
Thanks so much, Minister. And greeting once more to all of you. I'm going to be very brief with regard to the presentation that we're making this evening. As the minister said, there's a total of 6 suspects that have been arrested and detained in connection with the murder of the 2 individuals, Mr. Keenan Forbes, also known as AKA, as well as Mr. Tabelo Motswane, who is also known as Tibz. The incident that happened on the 10th of February in Florida, here in Durband. These 6, they played different roles during the operation. We have a coordinator who's basically the master of everything, is in custody. We have
That's the real one who doesn't like AKA. Whoever that is really the hater, gang. That's the,
2 shooters that you also on social media. We have 2 spotters that were one of the spotters was inside the restaurant observing and watching Mr. Forbes and his friends, as well as the organizer of firearms and vehicles, because the vehicle used as a getaway, firearms that were used to shoot, they all hired. As I said, the 6 of them. The spotter initially followed Mr. Forbes from the airport on arrival, all the way to the hotel, as well as to the restaurant where the incident happened. And this person was also responsible for gathering resources together, the whole team together, as well as the rewards that came thereafter.
Yeah, that makes sense, because to follow someone at the airport, you have to know when their flight is arriving. Feel me? You have to know what car they may be driving, you know, where they coming out of. You gotta know there's certain things to be waiting for somebody. Feel me? So the person that was inside, the one that was with AKA, and then the coordinator, they both hated AKA. AKA must have did something to someone in his camp that they didn't like. Feel me? That he wanted to get back at AKA. And I don't know why he wanted to take bro life like that though, but it was some hate inside his own camp though. Feel me? 'Cause that's crazy.
When the people have done their job, the payments that was done. And the second suspect that we have is a person who supplied firearms and vehicles, and that person was also linked to other 2 murder cases, not these ones that that we're talking about. And the third one, it's a shooter who is linked to another murder case, another parallel murder case. We have another spotter that was just outside the restaurant, who's also linked to another case. And we have another spotter who was outside Wish, who's linked to other 2 murder cases. And we have a shooter also as a 6th person who's linked with another murder case. In total of the exhibits that we've recovered thus far, it's a total of 4 vehicles, as well as a firearm that was used in a commission of crime, as well as cartridges that were picked up from the crime scene that were linked with another crime scene where another shooting happened.
They was in the same.
The first vehicle, which is a Mercedes-Benz, was recovered on the 6th of March last year. And the second recovery was on the 22nd of April, and that was a firearm that was used to shoot and kill Mr. Forbes, specific. On the 23rd of June, the team identified, after recovering these cartridges, they linked them together and were able to link that and confirm that they're all involved. That firearm that was used in both murder scenes. A BMW was recovered on the 2nd of August. That's a vehicle that was trailing Mr. Forbes when he landed in KZN from the airport all the way to the hotel, all the way to the restaurant.
Yeah, they got all the footage.
A grey I-10 vehicle was recovered on the 20th of October last year. And on the 23rd, the last vehicle, which is a Polo, was recovered as well. So all these recoveries were kept in police premises, and we processed them. The last 2 vehicles were hired from the owner who rented these vehicles. So we took the statement from the owner. We've done all the necessary things, touched DNA and everything that we needed on those cars, and we since released them to the owner, because the owner just rented this vehicle out.
I feel like the police had to solve this one. All the comments of y'all saying police don't solve crimes, that they let certain things go, they had to solve this one. They went back in the file, the footage. They went to go see when AKA was first landed at the airport. They looked outside the airport with what car was following him. They probably, I don't know if y'all got like city cameras. They had to look at those too, where they rented the cars from. They actually did their homework, so I'm gonna give them 2. Cause y'all said that they don't do their job, but for AKA and Tibz, they did their shit, gang. They did their shit.
So we've got all the evidence as the person who rented the cars. We have all the evidence, and we're comfortable with that case. Timelines, as I've explained, on recoveries will also be the same with arrests. The first arrest, or perhaps maybe before I explain the arrest, before the questions, the strategy that we employed was that after identifying these 6, we're going to look for parallel cases that they are involved in. And we're going to arrest them on those cases and keep them in custody, but don't charge them on the case that we're investigating, the main case 85 of February last year, which happened in Florida. So the reason for that is because we wanted to make sure that we get almost all the suspects, especially the organizer of the hit. So after identifying everyone else, and we could realize that of the 6 suspects, at least 4 of them, we have parallel cases that we can link them with. So we started pursuing those parallel cases. One of them was the case that was talked about in the media, where we went to Cape Town and we arrested someone in Cape Town. I'm sure you might have heard about it. And we brought them back here. We charged a person on a parallel case, but the very same person was linked to this case, but we didn't charge him on the case. So we went on with the rest of these arrests that we effected. The first one being the 22nd of April, where the organizer of firearms and vehicles, the person who was renting this out, was arrested and was charged on different cases, as well as most recently he's now been linked to this one of case 85. On the 24th of October, that's when we effected our second arrest. This was a spotter who was arrested, also being involved in murder in another case that happened, except the one that you're talking about. On the 14th of December, we arrested the third suspect. And that suspect was also linked with another murder case that happened in Mazimtoti, including, but we did not charge on this one that we are talking about today. On the 24th of February, maybe let me explain this one. After identifying the 2 suspects that we're looking for, after chasing them the whole year, we found the house where they were hiding in Swaziland. So through information, we could spot them, and we got informers to tell them and give us their photos, and we could confirm their whereabouts. So because we wanted to follow the law, and I like South African media because you tend to understand now the law, that you can't be talking about things that are still in court, especially when individuals have not been charged. So in this case, we approached the NPA, an affidavit was prepared, and we submitted through Interpol in order to request the authorities in Swaziland to help us catch these 2. These 2 were arrested on Saturday morning in Swaziland for other cases, as I've spoken about, including the one that you're talking about. However, when we were talking about the other parallel cases, it's simple because we did not want to scare the very last 2 that we're still looking for. We had warrant of arrest for the last 2, which is the main guy that without him, this case would not have been strong.
I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying. I was trying to understand, like, what was the whole idea of not saying anything, right? Feel me? If he would arrested the 2 people, just the 2 shooters, right? Feel me? And it would have hit the media that they got arrested for AKA. The 4 people would have got low. They would have got low. Not everybody would have never got caught. So the fact that they waited patiently, they did it low key, they didn't bring the media into it. They was charging them with other different cases, so it wouldn't look like they going after them for the AKA thing, so people wouldn't get scared. I like how they did that. I like their strategy. I like the strategy.
And we needed to get that one behind bars. So after getting these 2 on Saturday, we're told that they found them. We did not communicate that, as has been the case throughout, that you're not communicating it. We did not communicate on Saturday. We did not communicate on Sunday. On Monday, we had on our position warrant of arrest of the last 2. Unfortunately, the news broke out. So when the news broke out, the very last suspect we're looking for went on a run
Ooh.
because the news were out, and they realized that the people that they thought were hiding that side, they're now running away, that they've been arrested. So they ought to run. So the team worked 24/7, 24 hours looking for them, and that was from Monday until early hours of this morning, when the lawyers came to us and they said, okay, they're going to hand themselves over because we were hunting them and we had warrant of arrest. So this afternoon, they then were arrested and charged on the same case 85. One of these suspects that are in custody, that will amount into a total of 6 suspects that we're looking for. 4 of them are here, and 2 of them are not here yet because we're still busy with the legal process that we cannot engage on now because it involves many parties. So that's basically all. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, General. We're just going to open up the floor now to some questions. You know the rules. Please identify yourself as well as the media house that you represent. I'll start there at the back. That's ENCA. And I'll come here. So we'll take the first 3 questions, please. And also just direct yourself as to who you're asking the question to. Please also take in mind that the Commissioner of the SAPS is also here, General Fani Masimula. Go ahead, Jason.
Okay. I'm Jason Taute from ENCA. Perhaps just to start with a few questions, but the first of it being, so I think you mentioned, General, that when this news broke as a result of the foreign media, that was when it really, in a sense, compromised your case, and there was a suspect that escaped. Is there any particular reason that it took that event, although it chased away your suspect, but it took that event for us to finally get clarity on this matter? Is there any reason why, up until that point, the police was not able to give us that? In fact, so much so that the statement that was released yesterday or the day before gave us the impression that the 2 from SRT were not actually linked to this case. So perhaps some clarity on that and the strategy that you employed there. The second is that you said a little while ago that it was the coordinator or almost, I think you used the word master, but when you say that, are you talking about the coordinator on the ground and not necessarily the mastermind, the person who paid the money? Can you clarify that point? And a follow-on to that question would be, how close are we then to actually finding out who paid for this hit?
All right, thank you, Jason. Kosikon?
Yeah, Kosikon Aduma from News 24. I think I'm just going to follow the same line. Any idea as to what could have been the motive for this particular crime? And the second question
That's
would
a good
be
one.
those
What was
2
the motive?
suspects that are not here yet. Do you expect that by Thursday, when the 4 appear in court, that those ones would have arrived here and they would appear with them? And just for clarity, and not to guess, we'll talk about the Durband Magistrates Court, right? That's where they'll make their first court appearance.
All right, we'll give you the clarity. One last question from the side. Go ahead.
Jay Paulson from the SABC, just touching from where my colleagues left off. There's been a lot of speculation with regards to his circle, his inner circle. They had supper there at the Wish restaurant. Can we expect any more arrests that are made? And also, the people in the house, have they been linked to any of the suspects that have been arrested?
All right, we'll take those first 3 questions, General and Minister.
Okay, thanks so much, Minister. The first question, why did we not speak about this until the news broke? As I said earlier, our strategy was that we're not going to talk about this, and I've said it many times. We will not talk about this until first we inform the family, and secondly, we're going to be going to court. That has been the strategy. So that's why we had to find a way of getting these people arrested and detained for parallel cases other than this main case, knowing for a fact that we have our fish been detained somewhere, and when his time is ready for this case and we have all the other suspects, then we'll book this one out and charge him on this case. That's basically has been the strategy. So unfortunately, we already were there. We were there on Saturday when we requested the Swaziland authorities to execute those warrants. From the time they agreed, okay, we're going to execute, and they told us on Saturday that the warrants have been executed. Monday, we were in court to get the warrant of arrest for the last 2. That was our plan. By the time the news broke, we already had warrants on our hands. And when we are about to discuss with the NPA in terms of course, when you arrest, you must go to court. So when we were discussing with NPA, the news broke. And by the time when we were going for the suspects, they were gone. Because those were people that were not running away, they were always around. That's why we thought we were going to keep them last. So that's basically was our strategy. Unfortunately, the Swati, unfortunately, they release whatever that they release in the media, which I'm not going to talk about. As I said, it is in Swaziland. I'm glad that you all understand that you shouldn't be talking and bringing such documentation that are in court that must go out into the media. It's just disappointing. But basically, it's not because we were fooling the public, but we wanted to make sure we don't compromise this and we follow the law. The coordinator is the same mastermind. It's the person who put the team together, mobilize resources, and pay them after the job. How long will it take to bring those back into the country? It's a legal process that I cannot talk about. It will take as long as the law allows it to take. We'll be glad that they are still in custody. That's side. We hope they stay in custody. And by the time they get here, then we'll be able to present them to before the NPA, before the court. Yes, indeed, there is a possibility of other suspects that might be added on the list. But our case is strong as is now with the 6. So once you get the others, you will get to know about it, that there is one we added, or 2 or 3 or whatever numbers, as well as some exhibits that you might still find as we investigate.
But Tavia, you are not very correct. When you say we have not been saying anything about it, we waited for Swazi News or Swazi Mail, you are not very correct. We've been talking about this thing. You just did not want to believe us. You fell, all of you, when we say there are cars that are in the hands of the police. There are people that are linked in this case that are in custody. Maybe not emphasizing the point that for other things, because the brief is that you need to link them on, put your ducks in the row and all that. To say that South African police, he has said that time and again. Next to you, Matt has said it time and again. We have said it time and again to say we are on the track of this case. We have said that time and again. And if you look when...
Yeah, I agree with what they're saying, though. Timing is a good thing. Timing is always right. Because, like they said, they released the media out on Saturday, and then the last person, he fled. So timing is good. I agree with they saying though, right here, feel me? But they are dragging this one question though. I want to hear about the one that's in the group, like the person about who's in the group who actually helped too. I want to hear about that one.
The information and the evidence was put. That is March after the killer. The first person known and picked up on the 22nd April 2022. So cars found as given. So South African police, the only thing that one congratulates is to refuse the pressure that could have compromised the case. Yeah. Should you have said, we found one car and all that kind of stuff. See how they spread. Others in Swaziland or Eswatini and all that. But police, I think they have tried under very trying conditions to take on board South Africans. The only thing South Africans, they want to see blood and the dead body to believe. So if you say somebody is dead and they don't show the dead body, so they don't believe. But the truth of the matter is that we have tried to brief our South Africans, including yesterday. Yesterday we said, well, we are waiting for proper briefing and all that. For instance, the people, the authorities of Eswatini, they would have known how to brief us rather than going to the paper. They are members of SAPRO, they are members of Interpol and their neighbors and all that. For us, that would have been much better if they first followed that rather than making news. To us, is less news and more of an issue that we want us to tell about.
All right, let's take the second round of questions, please. We'll take follow-ups.
Alright, gang, I'm on to the next video. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Finally they fucking found the people though, feel me? We've been waiting a year, 17 days, so finally, I hope the family's happy, feel me? I hope everybody in South Africa, y'all happy. Y'all finally found the person, the people. Yeah, we just gotta wait to see what they get charged with. Feel me? Or see if they even got the right people. But let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Hit the like button, the subscribe button. Y'all already know the vibes, man. You give life a new meaning when you dreaming. It's your boy Dream, and I'm out of here, Yankee.
Fake niggas, we don't do those. Fake niggas, we don't do those. Heart cold,